Welcome back, everyone. My name is Jeff,
Silas.
and you're listening to Death Metal Daddies. Anyways,
I was wondering if you're gonna do it or not. I was gonna wait because I do it like every single time, and I was like, I think I need to hold off on this one. So nicely played.
happy hunting
Um,
season for everyone. Uh,
Happy hunting.
yeah,
Should
I
we
heard you.
rehash our hunting stories?
We can. I
Or
heard. I think you got the better story because you get a buck, from what I understand.
I did. I got a buck. It wasn't a target buck, as you could say that me and my buddy were kind of. I don't know. So like the more you delve into hunting comes the topic of target hunting, like a buck. Like, so like a landowner may have like this buck that gets on camera every year or something, and he's now got him on camera for like 5 years in a row, and it's a big buck, you know. He acquires that buck as his target buck. He's not killing anything else but that one. So we loosely kind of had a plan to there's two big bucks on this dude's property that I was really hoping to, get a chance at. But I mean, I chose one weekend to go down there out of the, not just the whole year, but the hunting season. That's 10 days. So it's chances of running into those guys they're slim. They're mature bucks. They know what they're doing. They've lived, they've gotten to be as old as they are because they're really smart. So they know how to not die. So yeah, I didn't get to see those guys, but had a buck come out, fortunately, and a good 8 point man. Put a lot of meat in my freezer, and that's what's most important to me. The antlers are just kind of like icing on the cake. But yeah, dude, it was a stellar takeaway for me. I'm definitely relieved. Not as much pressure on me or on myself. I definitely create a lot of pressure when it comes to hunting and stuff. But just yeah, it was awesome, dude. Very, very happy with it. So you got your first one this year, yeah?
Yep. Very exciting. Been hunting 3 times and finally got my first one. Had Annie with me.
Heck
We
yeah.
saw about 4 does that morning. First one was walking by the ridge. As soon as I got prepped to try to get the shot lined up, it already kind of like somewhat out of eyesight. So that was a goner. About an hour later, saw 3 bunched up behind me. Got one. So that was good. Although
Nice.
uh, I didn't hit the spot I was trying for. Not a good kill. I ended up hitting the spine and to where
Oh
it's
shit. It still
back
drops them,
legs.
right?
Yeah, its front legs were working, back legs were not. So I had to do a
Mm.
second shot. Tried to cut his throat, but that wasn't quick enough either. So we ended up shooting it again. Yeah, it
Oh
was very
shit.
much trying to stay. It
Damn.
was yeah,
That's tough.
yeah, yeah. Annie enjoyed it. Jensen was very jealous and wanted to go hunting the next day for the buck. So I
That's cool.
took him hunting the next day, and we were out there for maybe an hour, hour and a half, and we went inside because he, unlike Annie, he cannot stay quiet at all. He does not understand that at all.
How
So,
old is
and
he?
he is 3, Annie is
Yeah.
6, and she can at least understand and like preoccupy herself. Like she understands, seems to where she knows she's making sounds, so she'll preoccupy herself. I brought coloring books. I brought my phone with some AirPods and earmuffs put over it, so no matter what, nothing else can hear it. So that part wasn't
He's
too
legal
bad.
hunting age now
Is he?
for youth. She is 6 years
Oh,
old
okay.
for youth season.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I still don't know if
So
I fully trust her with my rifle though.
yeah, I would definitely, take her to a range probably more than once throughout the year just to get her prepared for, whenever you do want to do that. That's what I plan on doing anyways, but Lux, she's still got a couple of years to go. I don't know if she'll be ready at 6 even, but who knows? There's she's interested now. I mean, I didn't hide my buck butchering it in the side yard. So, I just teach her that, it's a way of life. That's what we use as a source of food. So in this household, anyways. But um, yeah, man. You said that about your deer, your bad shot placement, but I've actually shot a doe at the sawmill that I was hunting in from a tree stand, and it was maybe a 15-yard shot, and it was like a heart shot, but it immediately sent its back legs out, and it was just crawling on its front too. Looked horrifying. I was like, what the fuck? That was like a perfect shot because I knew that I shot right under the right shoulder, but I did a follow-up shot anyways because I again thought that I hit the spine, but I did a follow-up shot and it finally, stopped it and everything, but um uh, upon like inspection, yeah, it was just too straight to the center, so I didn't know what had happened there. I don't know if that's just a weird mechanism thing that went wrong. I don't know. I don't know.
I think for
But
mine, I think I was too excited and didn't focus on like my trigger squeeze because I could see exactly where it hit. There's a big
Mhm.
chunk off its back where it pulled because I was aiming, but the shot went up. So I think it was like like I said, I was excited. I wasn't focused on like my breathing and trigger pull. So I think I pulled the shot. I think a little bit on that one.
Oh, so you
So
probably smoked the back straps out anyways.
and maybe I don't know. It's more like the middle of the spine, like that whole chunk was gone on its back.
Okay. Yeah, that's like right where the back straps are.
Okay, so yeah, I mean that's why I couldn't find
Yeah.
them.
Yeah, they basically start like right at their front shoulders and they go all the way to the close to the back end, but not quite there. But yeah,
I got you. Yeah,
that's
so
kind of
yeah,
meat in my opinion.
they probably would have been destroyed then in that shot because it was that the whole spine was pretty much gone in the back on that from that's why its legs weren't
Yeah.
moving, it was flopping. Yeah, it was
I
good.
have some images I can send you. Oh yeah, sorry.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say I got some images that like I've gathered on Pinterest and stuff like that that over the past couple years, whenever I process deer at home, it was always like just a nightmare mess, like we were talking. And this year was like the first year I was super comfortable doing it. A hook, it a hook on a tree or something, some sort of lift system, just it helps so much, man, skinning and processing. But I used to just like sit there, just cut it up on a table and shit, and just Ziploc bag the meat and stuff, which you can do, but I feel like organizing as you're cutting off just it helps so much. So, but anyways, I've got some images I've gathered on Pinterest that really help you narrow down like what the cuts of meat you're taking off the deer are. Like where's the like butt roast, the shoulder roast, and once you kind of cut that off and then you see it, you're like, oh yeah, okay, makes sense. But it's just some stuff like that really helped me learn like where to cut off the deer and stuff. And I also watched a lot of YouTube videos. There's these guys
Yeah.
on Instagram too, bearded butchers, and they like have and they have reels where they're literally processing venison. That helps, dude. Works. It helps wonders. So,
Yeah, I was wanting something like that so I could actually figure out because, like I said, I was really just kind of cutting what I thought. Like, all right, I think this looks like enough meat I could eat, like off the ribs to four legs. So anything like that would be helpful.
mhm.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah, good
yeah,
time.
sure.
We gonna try it through some point this week, and then for sure probably Saturday or Sunday because it's supposed to get colder, and I feel like the heat uh, has made me not want to kind of go out again because that sucked getting having to do everything right then and there. And then also, I don't think the deer
Oh
want to come
yeah,
out too
makes you
much in
have
the
to.
heat.
Yeah, makes you have to act quick, man. That's definite, no doubt. And then, key advice is I don't know, like it's just like kind of like an old like saying, but like winds from the east, deer move the least. winds from the west, steer moves best, but really it's like the northwest winds that you want to look for, or north winds or west northwest winds. Those are like what's I've heard that is optimal for deer movement. And it kind of pans out to be true. Like I hunted this morning, I didn't see jack shit, and we had winds from the southwest actually, I think, but like I didn't see anything. I only hunted a couple hours, but again, because it got hot pretty quick morning, so but yeah, I've definitely adapted to hunting weather, like, checking conditions before I go out. Is it even going to be worth my time? And they say that, time in the stand is going to produce more than anything, which yeah, obviously it will, but you definitely want to make your time spent well worth it. But
Hmm.
looking ahead this week, dude, Thursday looks like a great day to be hunting if you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, Thursday. Thursday's looking prime. If you can get in the woods on Thursday, I would for sure. But yeah, I don't think I can Thursday, so I'm probably going to try to get out there Friday because I got one doe tag to fill for rifle, and then I still got two archery doe tags and one buck archery tag. So that's going to be my main focus for later winter. Still got to find me a good setup for that. And see what I'm going to do there, but we'll see.
I gotcha.
Definitely been fun so far.
Oh yeah. So, like I talked about earlier, didn't make a playlist this week. But what new music have you been listening to? Obviously, there's the one big one that we've been talking about for a while. Azalea Dying's new album, uh, through the through storms ahead. I think it's called.
Yes. Um, yeah, so I did check this one out. And it sounds pretty good, man. I mean, it sounds like Azalea Dying, but I don't know that I could have been like I could have told you if this was an album from 2 years ago or three or now. So, I mean, a lot of it kind of sounds similar to their older stuff. I do think like Tim's kind of going for like deeper growls and stuff like that. Sounds like he's trying to make a heavier sound. And I don't know if
Mhm.
that's a little behind all the band drama currently, if he's going for like a heavier as a late dying or something. But I don't know. I mean, they've consistently kind of been like a not lighter, but like, just that kind of general metalcore medium where it's like not too light, not too heavy, but just kind of like right there in the middle. And then you kind of have, just Tim doing his thing. So but
Yeah.
I thought it was an entertaining listen.
Mhm.
I still like that track, "We Are the Dead." Let me bring it up actually. I need to bring up that track listing. What'd you think of the album?
I didn't mind it. I did like some of the songs more than I liked than their previous one or the one before that as well. Like you brought up, "We Are the Dead." That was, I feel like, the best one. And then the other one that I thought was a highlight that didn't have features was "Whitewashed Tomb." I felt like that was more As Lay Dying ish, kind of like you brought up in previous episodes, kind of going back to that notion between us, but a little bit more modern. So I kind of like that one, but it's not too bad.
Hmm.
Still, As Lay Dying, still some of that. I think it was Ryan Neff doing the clean vocals. So still kind of doing that, which I feel like at this point for As Lay Dying, I feel like maybe moving forward, maybe they should do a lot less of that and stick more with the heaviness because I feel like that's what he's leaning into more. Um,
Hmm.
yeah, I didn't mind it. It was better than it's better than what they've been producing recently.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'd agree with that.
Sorry about that. Had some connective issues. Yeah, you were talking about As Lay Dying.
Yeah. So anyways, what was interesting about their latest release is that like so the album just came out last Friday, I think, but then like a week before it, they literally dropped an EP called I gotta look it up now on my phone. But it's an EP with like five of the singles from the new album, but it's got like a totally different name. So I don't know what's up with that.
Is it a name of any of the songs? I know Spotify's been doing that with some singles.
It's got its own cover art and everything.
Hmm. Just
Yeah,
like,
it's pretty interesting. I'm looking it up right now. So Through Storms Ahead is the album. But then literally like a week ago, they list, oh yeah, The Void Within. If you scroll down, there's an EP titled The Void Within 2024,
it has
and
the
it
snow.
just
Yeah.
dropped November 13th.
Hmm.
I guess that's the title of a song on there. Is The Void Within on the new album?
Let me look. I think so.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, I think maybe it was just because they've been doing that recently. That's why it's kind of hard to figure out if it's like I was having the issue with the Body Snatcher EP, whether or not it's an actual EP or if it's just another single and they just put all the singles onto it just to kind of like, hey, we also released this kind of thing.
Oh, okay, I see. Yeah, that might be what it is, because now that I see below The Void Within, it's all the names of the singles, which is like five total. That makes it like so confusing though, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very confusing, especially if they're building up for an actual EP. Because then I don't know if I haven't been keeping track. I don't know if it's an actual EP or if it's just another single with a bunch of singles on it.
Yeah, interesting. But yeah, anyways, that's all I had for As I'm Tim Dying.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Um,
I saw a funny
another
meme with that on it.
new release. I think it just came out yesterday or the day before. I Declare War just dropped their new EP, Downcast Volume 2. Uh,
Oh, interesting.
which we covered one of their singles they had from it, Shadow Dancer, a few months back.
Hmm.
It's I miss as I Declare War. This has been what Downcast came out like 2018 ish. So it's been like 6 years since their last EP, probably about 10 years since their last full album. I miss them. It's nothing super fancy, not breaking any boundaries, but it's very just kind of meat and potatoes, fun, heavy, uh, deathcore. So it's enjoyable. I enjoy it. I wish they would actually do full on tours again instead of just some home state tours like a tag along on tour that's just going through Washington, southwest parts of Canada. I would love to for them to actually do another full tour again. So come on back, I declare war.
Yeah, that'd be super sick. Looking through my release radar, I do see some bands have dropped some new music that it seems I've missed. Traders has a song called Release on here. I don't think I've checked that out. Havoc, they're out with a
Oh,
new
ooh,
album, I think, or
okay.
maybe just single.
Yeah, we might
But
need to
this is
investigate
called
that and see if we need to put that on
Yeah,
next week's playlist.
yeah, for sure. It looks like Ginger is on here as well. Kafka, um, Darko US. I know you used to be into that band,
Mm-hmm.
and then Malevolence with
Ooh, yeah.
Trenches. So also Paleface Swiss. I don't know if they're in your rotation or not. But yeah, so there's some new ones out there.
Yeah, I need to. I was slacking on the new releases. I need to put those on the next week's. One thing I did see, and I didn't know it was already coming out. I checked it out a little bit. Very far from the death metal daddies genre, but Linkin Park just came out with their new album.
Yeah, I've seen
Uh,
that.
from Zero, I think it's called. I listened to a couple of it. Did you check this one out at all?
Um, no, I didn't. I feel like a part of me is like refusing to listen to it just because like it to me it's not Linkin Park, but I don't know. I haven't listened to it yet, but have you?
I listened to about 4 or 5 songs. Yeah, you're not missing much.
Anyways, sorry.
You're good, man.
Those are those are my business partners.
Yeah, they're doing the behind the scenes stuff.
Yep.
Yeah, New Lincoln Park. You're not missing much. It's even Mike Shinoda's parts doesn't seem very like his style. And then
Hmm.
the new singer comes in. She's not bad. It's just I don't know. It feels like I'm a dad, but this feels way too dad rockish. It's just because they are do seem to be going back to a little bit of the rock, but still not like the new metal they used to be. It felt like it was getting a little bit with heavy light. I think heavy is the crown or whatever. But I don't know. A lot of it feels almost like some of it like attempted rehashes. Like I want to say one sounded almost like the beginning of Faint. Um, and when they have a chorus said it says something about bleeding out, which again felt like the song bleeded out.
Yeah.
So just I don't know. It felt weird. It's I don't know.
Huh.
You're not missing much listening to it.
Does she sound like Chester at all? Is she trying to like imitate his style or
In all honesty,
how's
that's
that?
the one thing I kind of do. Like, it doesn't sound like she's trying to be like him at all, and I think that's kind of the better way to do it. Like, you're not
Yeah.
don't try to replace him. Just be your own person. You're just fulfilling this role. Don't try to be someone else. So
Yeah, no
she
doubt.
doesn't seem to try to be doing that. She's not bad. I feel like if it was another band, it'd fit great. It's just that void of Chester being gone. Just
Mm,
feels a little
I
weird.
know. I know, like nothing's really ever gonna fill that hole,
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Other than that, I haven't been really listening to much newer music. I've been going through a lot of like older stuff. Like even today, I went back and checked out some older albums that we had talked about to see if my mind had changed at all. One of them was a Squaler Grind.
mm,
Uh,
okay.
what was it? Something on algorithms.
Dreams on algorithms.
Mm-hmm. It's growing on me more. Um,
Nice.
I think the initial issue was something about DOA. I still don't not super into the vocals on that song, and that kind of throws me off. I think it's shit. But if I just focus on the instruments, that song kicks ass. The rest of the
Yeah.
album, everything gels better. And then also, I just need to get over the Vincent part. But everything else of
Yeah.
the album's pretty good. Awesome riffs, great vibe. So yeah, my mind's slowly changing on that album. I'm liking it more and more. Another album I went back to see if I changed my mind was this is an old one, Immortal Disfigurement, King.
Oh, okay.
I remember saying that it felt
Is
like they were
that
just,
what's his nuts?
yeah, CJ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like it was just like uh, bitterness towards Lorna Shore and look at all these vocal tricks I could do. That was my original
Uh-huh.
take. And re listening to it again, I stand by that stance. It's no different.
Yeah.
I
I
kept
was
I
gonna
keep
say
seeing all
I
these
would have
people
been
talk about it, but it's like, no, it's
yeah, I still couldn't get into that one, man. And I even eat just thinking about it, like, yeah, it's I haven't had that in my rotation for a reason. But one that's kind of similar is it was that super chaotic deathcore band I brought up on here like a handful of weeks ago. It's like a three-song EP they have out. Disembodied Tyrant.
oh yeah.
I don't know if you delved into that at all, but I did actually go back to that, and it's actually pretty cool. I mean, they definitely have some cool shit going on. It is just balls to the wall nuts. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot that they're doing. I mean, they're doing the fucking crazy ass vocals. They're also doing lots of math elements and like tempo changes in their beats, and so it never seems to like just let down. You're just like always on the edge. Like it's always like just a constant ride on edge. So I don't know. There's not like a lot of groove in it and stuff like that. Like they got breakdowns and shit, but it's just I don't know. Definitely their own kind of style. And they kind of remind me of like a Infinite Annihilator because it's just like it's so ridiculous. Like I'd be surprised if it's like an actual live music playing band. I kind of wonder if it's like a an internet just kind of collaboration thing. But I mean, maybe. I don't know. I guess it's
I,
possible. It just sounds so insane.
I want to say it actually is a touring band because I want to say that they opened on that Flesh God and Shadow of Intent tour.
Oh, no shit. Wow. That's crazy then, dude. It's impressive for sure. I'm sure that would have been an insane set to watch.
Yeah, I wish I would have actually gone to that because they were
Hmm.
in Oklahoma City, I want to say. That would have been cool.
Yeah,
Um,
that would have been super sick.
Also, since I had to go to Deer, I've been getting really into the band Exhumed. You ever checked out Exhumed?
Hmm. No, I haven't. I know the name, but no, I have not checked them out. They're a pretty old band, right?
Yeah, they started in like I think like mid or early '90s.
Hmm.
Because and you can kind of tell with their because I pretty much listened to their debut album Gore Metal, and then I don't know if it's their most recent one, but it's the newer one, Horror. Those are the ones I've been listening to the most, and they have very much kind of a grindcore, like death grind, but more of like a old school death metal flair, not like Aborted or Cal Decap, more of like straightforward death metal with some grind elements. And I think that's kind of plays off of when they started. Yeah, that's I feel like it's perfect for if you're dealing with a bunch of guts because that's all they really sing about, and that's kind of the vibe of the band. So
Sweet.
I recommend
Oh
checking
yeah.
out Exhumed.
Okay. You'll have to delve into that one. A band I checked out that I was kind of trying to force myself to listen to this band. I saw that they came through here not too long ago, like I think a few months back. Pretty kind of got pretty mainstream pretty quick, but Bleed From Within. Have you ever listened to them?
I've heard the name. I don't think I've ever listened to them though.
I tried to get into them. Like I said, I forced myself to listen, and they definitely have some cool shit that they're doing. Like, I love their grooves. I really love their tunes, like music-wise instruments. Like, I like the vocals, but the cleans, they just feel very commercial and like some producers in the background kind of directing it. Maybe that's not the case. That's just the sound that, it kind of makes me feel. So that kind of turns me off with their music. But aside from that, man, it's pretty cool. I mean, um, definitely kind of a general metal. Like I don't even know how else I'd categorize them like genre wise, but yeah, I don't know. I'd recommend checking them out. They definitely got some cool breakdowns and shit in their music. So,
All right.
um, other than that, man, I went back to the album Nightmares Made Flesh by Bloodbath. Uh,
Okay.
it's just a really fun death metal listen. It's got that classic hit on it, Eaten. Eaten. I don't know if you remember that one or not, but ripper of an album, super cool. I also checked out the new Cabal. They have a new song out, End Times.
Ooh, I haven't checked that one out. Is it any good?
It's okay. It's not too bad. I probably need to give it another run to give it a good breakdown. But from what I heard, it was not bad. Um, I also went back to Thy Art Is Murder Holy War album. That was a fun listen, man. That's a solid album right there, dude.
Mm-hmm.
I still really love that. It's a banger. Pretty close front to back. I mean, there's maybe like one or two songs I don't really care for, but for the most part, dude, I love that album. Um, and I want to say it starts out with a super ripper song. Absolute, yeah, Absolute Genocide, dude.
Mm-hmm.
It's groovy as hell. Super badass. I checked out the new Thy Art single, and I don't know. I don't know that I really cared for it too much. I almost feel like this vocalist is doing a lighter style than the dude even did in Aversion's Crown. It definitely does almost sounds like a different vocalist, which I guess that's kind of cool, but there's like a lot of Randy Blythe element in there,
Mm-hmm.
And so I don't know. A part of it just kind of seemed like it didn't mesh, but I don't know. That was just kind of like my first listen, first run through. So maybe I need to give it another run. But yeah, not bad, but nothing that I just found that I was crazy about instantly. Um, but I think that's pretty much it, man. Went back to Continent at the Acacia strain. That's just a badass jam. I was just looking for something groove and heavy one day, and Damn, I love that album, man.
Yeah, I was
Like
actually
there's
listen. Go ahead.
I was just gonna say there's like just such signature Vincent lines in that one.
Hmm.
And what I love about that album is like he changes his style so much to where he sounds like a different vocalist. Like he sounds like features on his own album, you know? Like, cause there's that one where it's just like, look into my eyes and I can see right through ya. Like that doesn't even sound like him. I don't know. There's that one, and then there's another one that almost sounds like Southern style. Trying to remember what fucking song it was. Yeah, Skynet, the first song opens up with that, look into my eyes and know that I could see right through yo. I don't know. I'll listen to this album this next week and pinpoint that line. That's gonna fucking take me forever. There's a lot of songs on it, man. I forget how much there is.
Yeah, I don't like how Spotify has the track lists all messed up because I like to listen to it when I'm at the gym. But it's hard when you're
Hmm.
listening to Skynet and then it immediately goes into the Combine and Behemoth, just a complete vibe change when you're expecting C Word and Doctor Doom and Forget Me
Oh,
Now.
is it a messed up track list?
Yeah, on Spotify it is.
No shit. I didn't know that.
So I want to say Behemoth and Combine are like near the end of the album.
Oh, I didn't know that. Interesting.
Yeah, I was
I
actually
mean that
listening to Failure Will Follow right before we started recording just because I had to getting back in that
nice.
mood. Had to put the cover up there. And I still stand by that Pillar of Salt is the best song on the album.
That is a good one, dude. That's a badass song. Um, yeah, it's Skynet. Yeah, you're right. Skynet, C-Word, Doctor Doom, Forget Me Now. Huh. I wonder where they got it messed up.
I know I've heard I know the Facebook group, the Strainiacs, they've complained about it, and I guess they've some people have even made specific playlists for it to be played in order.
Oh, no shit. They need to get a petition going to fix their lineup.
Yeah.
Oh, did you hear about the Oceano Attila
I did
drama or
that they're
whatever?
oh, I didn't hear there was drama. I heard that they're about to tour together.
Yeah, I guess Oceano got a ton of backlash for it.
I can see
For
why.
yeah. And just now scrolling on Facebook, I just came across this is written by AW, so Adam Warren, I guess, the vocalist. Um, but I guess he's got a big ass statement. It's very long. I can read it if you want me to, or we can just
Well,
skip past.
what's his take on it?
I don't know. I honestly just came across it just
Because I
now.
understand why people would be upset because I know the Attila guy was accused of like grooming some of his fans. Like
Mm,
there's even like picture evidence of like meeting this girl when she's 14, then 18 years later, or like 4 years later when she hits 18, she's on his OnlyFans and stuff.
really?
Mm-hmm. I don't know if that was the age, but I
Wow.
know she was underage in the picture where they met, and then when she became legal, she was on his OnlyFans.
Holy shit. So he's got an OnlyFans, huh?
I think I don't know. I don't know if he still does. I
That's
remember that was like a
crazy.
big story, and that's when a lot of people were like calling Attila out. So I understand the backlash a little bit. So what is Adam's statement then?
Um, all right. It's a long one. Believe it or not, some people don't spend their life on the internet. My only goal has been to take opportunities to push Oceano forward since the fans said they wanted it. You will not make me out to be a bad person for things I am not connected to when it comes to what other band members do. There was a time in my life when I was in a social media high horse, and I don't agree with that, nor plan to act like I am better than anyone, nor that I know the details to anyone else's business. I wasn't aware of the depth of accusations with Attila and Associates. I remind you, Oceano was not active for a long time before now. What? Yeah, they were. Or
Uh,
what does he mean by
I
that?
think he's saying since they took a break for so long, maybe.
Oh, okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't even know anything about Dealer besides the band's name I've heard when they first came out years ago. Didn't they break up? Question mark. I did not even know what any other bands on the tour would be beyond Attila until long after we agreed, and no one in my circle cited any issues with our decision to take the tour. I think that before judging our decision to take the tour, or wait, sorry, I think that before judging the innocent band just taking what seemed like a decent opportunity and has never been associated with these bands before, you should look towards the agents, managers, venues, websites, festivals that all continue to support, book, and clearly downplay to their own clients the character of people their parentheses good bands work with. If you continue to read, keep asking yourself, what words have I said that are harmful? No one knew my circumstances nor my perspective until this moment, and I will stress I don't support any type of abuse or harm to anyone ever, but I'm not paying attention to what you all or anyone in the music scene personally does on the internet. I don't have time for that. So it is clear I was not informed enough to make a proper decision to tour with this package. I've never experienced bands causing such a stir, and I was not made aware until announcing the tour of people with such serious allegations surrounding them being on a tour I'm going to be on. I encourage anyone who is directly affected by those people slash bands to contact the authorities, police, and take legal action. I have been nothing but kind and positive within this music scene, especially on that internet side, and that can be hard sometimes. A year ago, we almost ended Oceano for good. We had an album to drop, but we definitely were done. I had zero idea my name is being tossed around alongside fucking people who have people accusing them of horrible things and getting upset with me because I'm just hearing about it. In real time, people swarmed me while I was still figuring out what was going on. Y'all are vicious and clearly seek chaos without care of who it affects. Thought I have been blessed with much opportunity. As we enter a more connected era, I have felt very disrespected over the years from a scene that really is more a facade than a real concept in reality. After gathering my own information on the subject, of course, we will be removing Oceano from the tour. But shame on all of you who tried to make me the scapegoat. What are you doing to change this culture besides point fingers and reshare rumors? It's time to get to work. I had zero idea the environment I was getting myself into, and I'm talking openly about it. What are you doing to change this? As of today, it is clear I am way more surrounded by complicit industry people, a metal scene riddled with cosplay, worship of band members, and less focus on artistic integrity. I don't want to exist to you anymore. As of today, I quit Oceano and will focus on being a solo independent artist. Parentheses, Adam on Earth. Oceano's final shows will now begin being planned for 2025. It feels good to finally say that.
So
End
Oceano's going to be
statement.
done
Yeah,
of
sounds like it.
dropping off a tour.
I guess so. Sounds like he took it kind of harshly. Or it sounds like he let the people get to him. He took the people's reaction to him being on the tour pretty harshly. And if he didn't know what was that band's backgrounds, maybe he shouldn't have just been like, "Oh, yeah, we'll do it." Like,
Well,
I mean, come on. That's kind of
I get it to a degree. Like, I mean, if you're a band that's just like trying to find a tour and you hear like, hey, this I know this band we used to be big, fine, we'll do it. But once the allegations come out,
yeah.
it's like once you find like the allegations have been there for forever. His ignorance on the subject is like, okay, I get that, but once it's out there, it's like, oh, okay, I didn't know. Drop off the tour, not a big deal. But the out like because I don't blame him for that. Like if you don't know, you don't know. Like if you don't involved aren't keeping up with that stuff, it's I mean, it hasn't been talked about in a while, but
Hmm.
I don't know way he's got I feel like he himself is getting on this high horse of like talking about artist integrity and all this stuff. It's like you're about to
Yeah.
go on tour with Attila who only sings about like partying, sex, and pizza. I mean,
That's what I'm saying. That's why I kind of think that, there's some ignorance on his behalf because it's just like you talk about, you're too busy to be keeping up with the Joneses. Like, come on, dude, you're in a metal band. Like, you're gonna act like you don't know who the big metal bands in the scene are, and like you had to have known Attila's name when you got offered the tour. So, I mean, do you not know what they're about? Have you not seen the videos where they have asses shaking right by Franz's face, and it's just like, I don't know. Kind of seems like to me, like he's just looking for an easy way out to end Oceano. My personal opinion, but I don't know.
yeah, and also I find it confusing that he doesn't know about what's been going on with Till and all that stuff, but he knows who Dealer is, and they're like whether they're broken up and whoever this Dealer band is, I don't know who that is, but
I've heard of him. I think I've listened to maybe a song or two, but not like crazy in my rotation. I don't know. It just seems very dramatic, very
yeah,
uber dramatic. Yeah, I don't know, but
yeah, it
whatever.
felt like it was a quick. I'm gonna put all my thoughts and my initial feelings on this. Not really like let me sleep on it, let me think this over kind of thing. Very an emotional
Yeah.
reaction to
I mean,
stuff.
he said he's quitting Oceano, so that doesn't mean that Oceano can't move forward without him. I mean,
But I
it
mean,
wouldn't really be
I feel like that's like
Oceano
Isley
anymore.
dying, moving on without Timlin Beasis, or Amir moving on
Yeah,
without Frankie. Kind of like we talked about last time. Like I
true.
feel like he is really just Oceano.
Yeah, he really is like one of the sole members anymore, I'm pretty sure.
Mm-hmm.
But
Um,
yeah,
uh,
whatever. Uh,
other tour news. Did you see Septic Flesh announced a tour?
oh, I think I did. Who's on that bill?
It's them, Voltimus, which is that super group with the bassist and singer from Morbid Angel, and then it has I forget who. It's someone from Mayhem. It's
Hmm.
either Hellhammer, maybe Necro Butcher. I can't remember, but it's like a super group of like old school death metal and black metal.
Oh, hell yeah. That'd be sick.
They're coming to Lawrence, Kansas, February 20th.
Okay. Nice. Dude, I'm super jelly. I don't even know if we brought it up, but that fucking aborted tour with Peeling Flesh.
Oh yeah.
Like, are you kidding me, dude? Like that one hurts. That one hurts really bad.
Or what also hurts is cytotoxin.
Yeah. Yeah, that one came and went. I mean, I can kind of get over that one. I wasn't, like, yeah, there were some other interesting looking bands on the bill, but dude, aborted and Peeling Flesh in one night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Holy shit. Those two right there. And there was even like other interesting bands on the bill too. Like it's a stellar lineup of a tour, but yeah, like the closest I think is Dallas, Texas or some shit like that.
I don't know. I've been seeing a
Motherfuckers.
lot more tours recently. Have you even seen those too? I feel like there's a lot more tours getting announced now. I don't know if like they're
Hmm.
taking like a fall or summer break, but I've been seeing a lot more tours being announced.
Yeah, I feel like they're starting to announce the big ones for like early 2025 and shit like
Mm-hmm.
that. Um, so I think there's like a huge one just announced the other day. Oh, Post Malone.
Oh
He's gonna
yeah,
be he's gonna be coming around somewhere around here, Kansas City or St. Louis or something, I think.
yeah. I think it's T-Mobile Center. I think is that Kansas City or St. Louis.
I think it's Kansas City.
And then there's also another one in down here in Branson. So we might go to
Oh,
that over
really?
at the Thunder Ridge, that Bass Pro venue.
Oh, yeah. I think it's Post Malone and Jelly Roll.
And I don't really know anything about Jelly Roll. I know he
Yeah, I
has
mean
a couple
he's
songs that are popular, but I mean,
all over the radio now. Yeah, he kind of blew up.
yeah.
Seems like a nice guy.
Um,
Um,
other so also tour and also metal news. Did you see about the Decimation of the Nation tour? I think it was called. It was supposed to be like Morbid Angel and a bunch of like big like named death metal bands.
is it
Uh,
Devastation on the Nation?
That
Or
might be it.
that's
Yeah.
that's one that's like been around for years.
Do you see? So it's supposed to be Morbid Angel was going to be headlining, but they dropped
Hmm.
out.
Oh
They
shit.
were they were replaced with I Am Morbid, which is David Vincent's, the original singer and bassist of Morbid Angel, his other band, which just plays the his era of Morbid Angel, replacing
Oh,
Morbid
seriously?
Angel. I
Wow.
don't know if that's a slap in the face to Morbid Angel or what that is.
I don't know. There had to have been like some ties there, right?
I don't know because I feel
Huh.
like surely they kicked him out because he came back and they came out with a very controversial industrial death metal album, and then he was it was panned by everyone. Everyone hated it, and he was immediately like out of the band again. So I assume he got kicked out. So I would assume
Yeah.
there would be like some kind of bad blood there.
Yeah. Huh. That is interesting. Yeah, that used to be a pretty good bill, I want to say. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
remember prominent bands doing that one. Like, I think Cattle Decap's done it.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. Yeah, man. Trying to think of other tours that I've seen. I thought there was another one that looked really stellar, but I can't really remember off the top of my head.
Yeah. You want to talk about some dad stuff? What are you doing?
Sure, man. Oh, just popping open the tab for a spitter can.
Oh, okay.
I
I got
normally
you.
just try to, get it into the hole, but a bigger hole's better.
um.
Giggity.
So I just thought of it. Sent when you're when the girls came in. Because I noticed my Annie does it. I don't know if your girls do it at all. Do you? Does your oldest ever try to almost kind of be a parent to the younger a little bit?
Yeah, recently they're like kind of, I don't know, like parenting, but like definitely directs the
Mm-hmm.
younger one into doing shit she shouldn't do and all kinds of stuff. I mean, I do love at their ages right now. Like Stella's getting old enough where they're both like playing a lot now. Like they're becoming friends. And so like that's just very wholesome to watch. Like I adore that. But with that being said, they're also getting into shit that they definitely shouldn't. Like they're bathing together, so like, we have to constantly repeat water stays in the tub, and then you go in the bathroom and there's water fucking all over the floor. Yeah, and they both act like neither one did it, of course, and yeah, I don't know. They're just kind of like a little duo, partners in crime. But yeah, parents, yeah, I could definitely see where the older one kind of just definitely does more directing and stuff and you know pulls around Stella. It's pretty funny.
Yeah. We've been Annie's very has very much like tries to be the mother a lot, and it sometimes it's cute, but sometimes it's like Annie, stop! You are not his mother. You were his sister, kind of thing. And it's
Yeah.
I don't know if it's just an age thing or if I don't know if Annie has like this maternal. I don't know what it is. Maybe she really wants to be a mom, kind of thing. I don't know what it is, but I don't know. It's I was almost thinking of trying to find where you find the line of like, hey, like there is the whole like, like you said, like directing them, kind of telling them what to do, like, hey, no, this is how it's done. And then also other times you're like, nope, that's not your job. That's me as a parent's job, kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's been moments like when the other one sees the other one get in trouble for something and they have to go to timeout. Like we reinforce timeout by you stand in a corner and you face the wall. And, because I remembered like going through that shit when I was a kid and I hated it. And so I kind of adopted that as a parent because I was just like, okay, well, if I hated it, surely they'll probably hate it too. And so, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. But the other one, like, they've both done it to each other, though. Like, the other one has seen the other one go to timeout. So when they feel like the other sibling has done something bad, like Stella will be like, "No, you go jail," and like try to take your hand and like pull you. Like I'll just be sitting on the couch and she just comes up to do it to me, like for no reason. But like whenever I was getting on to Lux for doing something she shouldn't have, like Stella wanted to chime in and like, yeah, 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 no, 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 or like just yell. I was like, Stella, stop, I got it. And then vice versa, Lux has done the same thing, and so yeah, just kind of have to be like, no, you're not the parent. Get out of this. Mind your own business. They're fun though.
Yeah, they're a lot of fun, and yeah, we do something similar. We either usually just have them, depending on the situation, either have them stop where they're at, sit down right there, and that's their timeout right there, or just go to your room kind of thing. The go to your room seems to be the that's what affects Annie the most to get her to stop.
Yeah.
Jensen, it's depending on situations. Sometimes it is just stay where you are, you're in timeout. Other times it's go to your room, just depending on the situation. Just trying to feel it out. Theo,
Hmm.
he's still only 9 months old, so hasn't had that problem yet. He'll get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah. Yeah. It's usually it starts with timeout. You stand in the corner, face the wall. If you can't do that and you keep fighting it and you start like kicking your feet and just like keep staring back intentionally, and then like they get the little smirk. I'm just like, okay, now you're going to your room. Go up and pick them up and carry them to the room. Then yeah, it's once they go to the room, man, they're hating it. They're usually super pissed and I want to say sorry. I want to say sorry. So yeah, I don't know. And I don't like reinforce it too long. I'm just like 5 minutes of isolation or whatever, and then as long as they're not, keeping up with the antics, it's like, okay, I'll go in and like, all right, now how did you get yourself here? Cause why? And like I try to make her like tell me back, why she got in trouble, just so that she understands, why I'm doing what I'm doing. Because, hey, had you not done this, you wouldn't have ended up in this situation. So I don't know if it works or if it's helping. I mean, she's not in timeout every night, but it's definitely I guess I'd say like 2 or 3 nights out of the week that we're probably doing that routine. So just depends, man. You
Yeah,
never know.
yeah, yeah. It'd be like that because I do the same thing. It just kind of ebbs and flows, and it's always something different.
Yeah.
Usually, it's fighting over eating your food, or they did something they knew they weren't supposed to, or just they're being I don't know what you say like they're just being that tiredness when they start acting up
Hmm.
and they're tired, like, all right, just go to your room kind of thing.
Yeah. You can like my girls, I can always tell when the tired is starting to hit them because they just get real whiny. Like the whiny just sets in real quick. Like it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't take long for them to, I don't want to do that. And like like crying comes on really quick. I'm just like, what is going on? And so um but yeah, it's just like taking each other's toys. Like they've never been real great at sharing. And like I've tried to implement sharing like from when Lux was real young, she's been doing daycare for so long now. Like I would have thought that, I mean, again, depends on the day, but they'll intentionally try to like swipe each other's toys just to antagonize each other. That's like both of their moves. They do the same shit. So, you know, just depends. But yeah, I don't know. They definitely know how to piss each other off too.
Yeah, yeah. My kids are the same way. They love to piss each
Yeah.
other off.
Yeah. Uh,
All right. So when it comes to the music thing for tonight, do you want to do the Desert Island of '06 albums, or you want to do Dimmu Borgir?
I think the '06 albums needs to be more of a specialty, and I don't know that I'm really prepared for it.
I
'Cause there's a
gotcha.
lot on. I haven't even looked at the playlist. Is it still out there?
Yeah, I didn't make it. I found someone else and I tried
Oh,
to look
okay.
combing over because I can't find a tier list that anyone made. And if for
Uh-huh.
me to do that, that would be a long time. So I have to save each individual image, put it on there.
True.
So my thinking was almost just having that playlist open. We go through it and then we even just like say it out loud, like, I want this. And like I can have a piece of paper and write it down kind of thing. But
Okay.
I kind of have what
Well, like
I would aim for.
interestingly, there's one album that like I didn't listen to around that time, but like Strapping Young Lad, they were a band that hit real late for me.
Mm-hmm.
And so like one of the first albums that I picked up was literally I bought the CD in a store, but it was Strapping Young Lad, The Chaos Years. And it's literally like their greatest hits compilation. But dude, it's like one of my favorite albums. And um I fell in love with it. And it's a solid album of all their hits really. And so I was able to listen to that thing front to back. And then from there I delved through the discography, fell in love with some of their albums and most of their albums really. But that album was an '06 album. And so it's like I almost want that on the list,
I gotcha.
because I love me some strapping young lad, dude.
Yeah,
Devin Townsend's a king. I may not really love his solo stuff as much as strapping young lad, but I definitely got a spot for strapping young lad.
I gotcha. So what we could do is we can even make our own playlists where probably not each the full albums, but we can play a song from that individual album. So that way we like can remember, oh yeah, it came out in '06, and then we can actually have our pick of the litter kind of thing. If you want to do it that way.
For sure.
Yeah, I can
Are
invite
we
you as a
doing
collaborator.
is it strictly '06 or are we doing a span of years around that?
I was thinking purely '06 because if we do this span around it, the list is going to be even longer and it's going to be hard to narrow
Yeah,
it down. Especially
true.
like if we start getting the '07 with like Joffrey Cowboys Genesis album,
Ooh,
other stuff
true.
like that. And then '05 has some pretty good stuff. I want to say Alaska Between the Buried and Me came out in '05. '06
Well,
is a pretty
maybe
stacked year.
like moving forward, we could just do this like every now and then, like a specialty year, like
Yeah.
best of '04 or whatever, Because
Yeah.
'04, I want to say that has Behemoth's Demigod, so
Oh,
which
okay.
was absolutely stellar. So, yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, that's cool. I can dig that.
Yeah. Cause I don't know if you've combed over that playlist. I didn't realize that there's some albums I didn't know came out that year. So I've always had to think of like, all right, when it comes to the genre, if I'm on Desert Island, do I want two albums of the same genre kind of on there kind of thing? So then I had to pick which one would be better. So stuff like that.
Yeah. Trying to think, was Meshuggah Obzin '06 or is that '07?
Uh, I feel like that was later.
Yeah, I
A
think you're
second.
right. It actually might be '08. Yeah,
2006
that's '08.
metal. Here we go. Second, 3 Days Grace, Kill Switch Engage, Dragon Force, Bolt for My Valentine, Breaking Benjamin, Evanescence, Lamb of God, Tool, In Flames, All That Remains, Under Oath, Atreyu, Hatebreed, Stone Sour, Deftones, Sabaton, The Sword, Bringing the Horizon, Amorphous, Iron Maiden, Godsmack, Catatonia, Amon Amarth, Mastodon, All Shall Perish, Cradle of Filth, I'm pretty sure
Damn,
is that
that's a
is
lot.
that is that Thornography or is that
Nymphetamine,
oh that's Nymphetamine?
I think
Uh
so.
Slayer, Scar Symmetry,
Oh
Dissection,
wow.
As Blood Runs
Damn,
Black,
dude, oh man, that's
Trivium,
crazy.
Rob Zombie, Black Flag Society, Dream Evil, Celtic Frost,
Dude, oh yeah, monotheist. Holy crap.
Cannibal Corpse, Devil Wears Prada, Sodom, Devin Townsend Band, Napalm
Good
Death,
grief.
Strapping Young Lad is on here with
Ooh,
the
I
new
want to
black,
say that's, oh yeah, okay. Damn, that's a good album too.
Decapitated, Unearthed, or Unearthed, Deicide, The Haunted, Insomnium, Bleeding Through, Violator, Unleashed, Mushroom Head, Suffocation, Cataclysm, Sepultura, Dark Throne, Converge, Avatar,
Oh my gosh.
Shadows Fall, Body Count, Into Eternity, Winger, My Dying Bride, Necrophobic, Torture Killer, Goat Horror, Enslaved, Cattle Decap, Helmet, Queensryche, Misery
I
Index.
mean, you had me at 3 Days Grace.
Surely Nickelback came out with an album that year.
Oh yeah, I guarantee it. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's a huge year, dude. That's
Yeah, and it's
absolutely insane.
yeah, and it's a lot of these like the bands that we recognize. It's a lot of their like either their best albums or like their like pretty good albums. Like
It's probably Shadows Fall's best, The War Within.
uh no, it's not that one. It's the one I think it's after. It's the Fallout from War, I think. It's a similar
Mm,
cover but slightly but Kill Switch
that
is
might be the
the
one
As
before.
Daylight Dies. Um
Oh, okay.
In Flames is Come Clarity.
Oh, damn. Yeah, it was huge. I gotta let my cat out. Yeah, dude, that's awesome. That's fun. That's just insane.
Yeah, it's
I
a
couldn't cram that into my schedule for the rest of this year.
yeah, I forgot As Blood Runs Black came out that year. Allegiance.
Yeah, that was their big one.
Their debut. Dissection with
Yeah.
Rain Chaos, I think it's called.
Oh man, gosh, that's like my favorite dissection too. I know when like traditional black metal fans like they love older dissection, which it's good, but I love Rain Chaos, man. I think that's such a good sounding album. Absolutely love that album so much.
Yeah, I'll make a
Um,
playlist probably similar to this, but if there's anything that we're missing, we can always add to it, and then we can just always go to this one as a for us trying to narrow it down. Like, all right, I want these ones because there's always a chance that the other person could pick it, and that will be one of our 8 on the entire island. So
yeah, for sure. Um, I just seen this too. Metal News, Metal Tour. Um, the Ascendancy and the Poison Bullet for My
Ooh,
Valentine tour.
I did see
That's
that,
gonna be
and that
huge.
yeah, I would actually like to go to that. That would be very cool.
I would too. Yeah.
I think that's probably the best Trivium album, and it's really the only album I really cared for by Bullet. So I think that would
Yeah,
be pretty cool.
for sure. That would be super badass. Very nostalgic, dude. Because you know that Trivium's got to play probably most of that album, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Gunshot to the Head of Trepidation. Oh, I love that. Just start to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, damn, dude. That'd be a badass one to catch. We should probably try to go to that one.
Yeah.
I think that's happening next summer or something like that. But
Okay.
that'd be super sick.
All right. So you ready for some Dimmu Borgir?
Yeah, Demon Burger. Let's do it.
Yeah. I got to pull up their
So
stiff.
I was thinking about Dimmu Borgir and like Shagrath. It's like such a metal name for Austin Powers because I can't help
You
but get the
how's
Shag.
that should be like an actual theme of a band, like an if Austin Powers characters metal band. Shagrath is
Yes.
a character.
Yes.
Uh
But like spelt like Shagrath, like um Shag and then Wrath or something like that. Oh, yeah, baby. It's just so ridiculous. But yes, anyways, Dimmu Borgir.
all right, now I have it set up
Interesting,
to where it is in order.
interesting discog here with this band.
Oh fuck! Now it took it out of order. Just a
I don't see. Oh, okay, yeah, I see it now on my screen. Were you able to sift through all of the? Were you able to get all of the
Not through
compilations and
every
shit
single.
out of the way?
Oh yeah, that's not on this one. This is someone else made.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
Yeah, looks like you got all the good ones lined up, and you got the good version of Stormblast on there.
yeah. Apparently,
Nice.
they're both on here because
Oh,
for
okay, I
some
see.
reason, I guess people consider them two different albums,
They're
but
very
they're the
different
same.
sounding. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Same songs, but very different productions.
Mhm.
Um,
So I am
Sweet.
not super familiar with them. It's a band I've always kind of heard of. I've gotten
Mm,
into them a little bit here and there. Um, but for me, this was a lot of listening to these albums for the first time for me. So I'll let you lead this.
Sweet.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah, man. Basically, I started with this band in high school. This was like one of the first bands that really got me into black metal and that whole phase. I just we had a dude in high school that was kind of into them and into all other black metal bands and stuff like that. But anyways, he made me a mix CD and it had Dimmu on there. And I first heard songs from Puritanical Euphoric Misanthropia, which is one of their like '03 albums or something. But it also had songs from their first album, For All Tid. And um, I love this album. It's one of my favorite albums, and it's one of my favorite old school black metal albums because I think it sounds very unique. It still has that kind of harshness production of like, what you expect like an older black metal album to have. But I still feel like the songs are very well structured and written, and it's got this very kind of sorrowful sound throughout. It doesn't sound very bright and upbeat. It sounds just kind of dreary. And I really fell in love with it, dude, back in the day. So I'm starting this chart out really high. For all tid, I'm gonna rank this an 8.7.
Okay. Um, like I said, this is the first time listening to this album. One thing I didn't like was I want to say, was this the one where the first song is a 5 minute like orchestra or like symphonic stuff?
Yeah, it's a very long intro. Um, and yeah, you got some like keys and just a lot of kind of ambient stuff going on.
I
And
gotcha.
like even in the album, like you have these weird moments of just kind of like oh, like impaling type screams, but I don't know. I just thought that like really fit the vibe of the cover to me. Like you got like a super medieval kind of fantasy looking cover, and I just felt like the music went great with it, dude. So but yeah, it starts out super slow, kind of like a really slow album, honestly. I mean, it gets it gets, upbeat and stuff. It's got blasts and stuff like that, obviously, but definitely heavy keys and stuff like that from the get-go. So,
Yeah. And once I actually got into the album, it does, you bring I feel like this is the only album of their discography where it has that really old school, harsh sound to it. And
hmm
it, at first, it was reminding me a lot of like early mid Emperor with like the symphonics and the black metal and stuff. But then it
Okay.
has a little bit of the melodic part, which is new and refreshing to me because haven't really experimented much with melodic black metal, but it's not bad. It's just one of those things that with with Demure, I was waiting for more of their like higher produced stuff that comes mid their career. So I'm going to give this one a 6.
Okay.
Uh, so this will be a 14.5 because I think you gave it an 8.5, didn't you?
8.7,
8.7,
just
so
to be complicated.
14.7.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, man. And my favorite songs from that probably are the first one, which is Det Nyriket. I'm sure I'm pronouncing these totally right. And then it goes into another good one, Under Korpens Vinger. Um, uh, I don't know. Really, I listen to this one front to back if I do pick it up. I really don't feel like I skipped through anywhere. But the song itself for Alted, it's a really good one too. Um, Definitely recommend. But yeah, anyways. Um, so I don't know if I feel like Spotify probably has this discography mixed up. Is Stormblast in 95 up next or 96, something like that?
Yeah, it should be up next.
Okay.
So I had to go to Wikipedia to
So
bounce off the order because I know Spotify likes to mix dates up.
yeah. So this one is very different than Stormblast V2 that comes in like 2005 or something like that. If I listen to this album, I don't really listen to this version. Just not one of my favorites in their discography. Production I feel like is kind of rough in its own way, not really in a good way either. Um, it's not terrible, but it's I don't know, man. Just not my favorite Dimmu. So I would probably give this one a 6, I think.
Okay. Yeah, listening to this and then listening to the 2005 one, I don't see any reason to go back to this one unless I'm just wanting some kind of masochist. I'm just wanting the rougher, harsher stuff because I do feel like
Yeah.
2005 had a lot. I felt like everything was fully realized. They actually had the more money to do stuff, more technology to get things done. Um,
Yeah.
I feel like the ideas that they had flourished more. So I'm going to give this one a 5.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Okay,
I could talk about songs on it, but I would really only be talking about the songs from the 2005 version that I liked.
for sure.
So I'll just wait for that part.
All right. So we have an 11 on that one.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Up next is Enthroned Darkness Triumphant. Is that right?
That's what I'm showing.
Okay. And this one comes out in like 97. And this is where I think you have like your first hits that really kind of got out there for Dimmu. Um, I remember the song specifically, Morning Palace, it opens out with, and Spellbound by the Devil. Two really solid tracks in their discography, man. I still really love this album just to go back to these songs. Um, the rest of the album, I kind of fall off on this one. Um, but like I said, it's still a really heavy hitter just for those two opening tracks, man. Um, they're definitely still really prominent ones. So I would probably give this one a 7.5.
Okay. Um, for me, it was still wasn't grabbing me. I was still excited for what I knew was right around the corner. So I didn't really pay this one too much mind. Um, I'm probably going to give this somewhere between what I gave for Fortid and or for Alted and Stormblast. I'll probably give this a 5.5. What
Okay.
was yours again? 7 point.
Um, I'd probably I'll just throw 7. I can't
Okay.
remember if I did 7.5 or 7. But yeah, seven's good. I feel like this album too, I should note, this is really when they stepped in. They started titling in English, and they also really stepped into that role of symphonic black metal.
I
And
gotcha.
I don't know if I'm not as well tuned with Emperor. I feel like that's a band I probably need to delve their discography. I don't know if they were kind of donning the symphonic black metal first. I feel like
I
they're
think they
kind of
were because
notable for the pioneers of it, right?
yeah, I'm pretty sure they've always been symphonic. They were like the first ones to do it. I'm pretty sure. I'm sure there will be someone, if some other true cult person to say no, some other band did it, but I'm pretty sure Emperor was the first one and that they had always done it that way. Cause I had, their, two debut EPs and a CD. And I want to say even that was very symphonic, very low tech symphonic, but it was still symphonic, very raw.
Okay, nice. But yeah, this album is they really stepped into that kind of symphonic stuff, and you clearly hear that from the get-go on the song Morning Palace. So, but yeah, again, great track. Anyways, up next, Godless Savage Garden, or wait,
That's the compilation, I think, because I think up
no, I don't.
next is Spiritual Black Dimensions.
I think, oh, is it a compilation? Yeah, I think you might be right. I don't know. I feel like it has songs on there that aren't on older ones. Let me double check real quick. Damn it. Oh, bitch. Sorry, just lost my discography. I feel like I should be more well tuned than this. I'm looking for that opening track in a previous album, Moonchild Domain. I feel like you have songs on here that aren't on older ones. Metal Heart, Chaos Without Prophecy, Moonchild Domain, on Godless Savage Garden. But it definitely seems shorter. Um, so we're gonna skip it for now because I also see Stormblast on there, and Stormblast is for sure an older track, so you could be right. But anyways, let's move on. Let's go to Spiritual Black Dimensions next on the list in 1999. This one is not one that I'm well tuned with. I think I've tried to listen to this, but never really grasped me. I feel like they kind of lost me on this one. Um, but again, maybe I haven't given it the time that it probably is deserved. But for those reasons, man, it's gonna get my probably lowest ranking. So I'll probably give this one a 6.
Okay. Um, I didn't mind it. So I would say for this one, the sound was there. The songs just weren't grabbing me. So I felt like they were going the right direction. Um, but just wasn't grabbing me like the up next albums were. Um,
Hmm.
so I'd probably give this probably a 6.5 simply for like this, in my opinion, the sound being more clear and better for what they're doing. Cause I understand for black metal, you want the like uh very raw stuff, but I feel like with symphonic, you can do the raw kind of like Emperor did, or you can actually, if you have the higher production, has a more grandiose, better feeling, which is what I think they very really nailed down in the new millennium. The one thing, the album cover, like it's weird, but I kind of like it. It gives me that 1990s vibe, like the movie Stigmata, very much that vibe.
Yeah,
I kind of
yeah,
like
for
that.
sure.
But yeah, I'm
I
gonna give
do
this
like
a.
the album cover, man.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's probably the most thing about it that I do like.
Yeah, I'll probably give this a 6.5. You gave it a what?
6.
Six? Okay, so I'll be right here. All right.
All right. And then up next is '01, Puritanical Euphoric Misanthropia. And holy shit. That's all I gotta say about this album, man. This is probably my I think
Just a
this is
second.
prime. All right.
Hey, was you were talking about this album, the Puritanical Euphoric Misanthropy?
Yes, this is Dimmu Gold for me, man. This is front to back. If I pick this up, man, I'm either going for the single Puritania or I'm listening to it front to back. And it's got the symphonics down, I think completely solid, the black metal completely solid, heavy. It's got groove, blast, you name it, dude. It's just a collective of super badassery. I think it's hilarious that Spotify blurs out the boobies on the front. um, that's just really funny. Gnarly album cover though, for sure.
Mhm.
But this is absolutely a 10 for me, dude. Um, Opens up with an awesome, stellar, like symphonic piece, Fear and Wonder, and right into Blessings Upon the Throne of Tyranny. Blends so good, dude. Such a great intro. And then Kings of the Carnival Creation, that is one of the first songs that that dude in high school like had it on a CD for me. And I just remember being so captivated by the drum kick work. Like because it's just segments of like triples or like quadruples. I don't even know. Dun, 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 it's just it's insane what that dude was doing, man. And I want to say it was a super stellar drummer. I don't know if Hellhammer, I don't think he was in this band at the time, but it was like I don't know, they've always had just insane drummers in this band. That's one thing that they have always had. And so you can definitely hear that on this album, dude, but it's a nonstop banger. Kings of the Carnival Creation, great song. Hybrid Stigmata, fabulous. Architecture of a Genocidal Nature. That has one of the coolest badass breakdowns that like I call it a breakdown because like towards the end of the song you if you listen to it you know what I'm talking about. But super badass song. Puritania, dude. Probably my favorite Dimmu song of all time. I remember watching a video of theirs, the video for Puritania early on YouTube, and it was like one of those videos that just like scared me. It was just like I don't know why, but just the vibes are just like this is kind of like freaky. I don't know. It was definitely just like a eerie vibe to it, but again, just super badass tunes. Like I fell in love with it, man. Um, and then the rest of the album is just it's so great. I love it front to back. What do you think? What do you think of this one?
I this is when I started to pay attention more to my when going through all this was this album because it's started off good, like it's gonna be good, and then Kings of Carnival Creation is what caught my attention. I had to stop what I was doing and look at it. It's like, oh, this is a song because I've heard you talk about this song before. Like I can see why.
Hmm.
It's very good. Um, yeah, it's a great album. Um, but um, just for me, I'm gonna give this probably an 8.5 because there is one that I liked more in their
Okay.
discography. So you
Okay.
gave it a 10, didn't you?
Yep. This is a 10 for me.
Good, 18.5.
And I think why this album is like was so different is because they just went super I just felt like they just started doing what they wanted. Like they didn't stick to genre parameters. They definitely strayed from the term black metal on this album. They got into grooves and riffs and palm mutes and shit. And you just don't get a lot of that, like a lot of the chuggy shit in symphonic like black metal, you know? So I was just so captivated, dude. And they're still donning corpse paint and look black metal and evil as hell. So yeah, man, it was just captivation, total captivation for me. But yeah, absolute stellar album, I think.
Before we get to the next one, just a second, I gotta go. I got the baby monitor and Theo's waking up. Just a second.
No worries.
All right. What is next?
Sorry. Gosh dang it, dude. Trying to get my discography back. Oh, Death Cult Armageddon. This is the album from '03. Yeah, this album, dude, it's an absolute heavy hitter too, I think, in their discography. Um, stellar album. This was like the real actual first album that I just fell in love with front to back. And I think that it opens up great with Allegiance, dude. I love that intro, like the weird clicky shit into the song's just super sick too, and opens out just ripping, man. And again, just I'd say it's very comparable to Puritanical, the one before, but with just more kind of superb production and just another front to back, dude. It's just excellent. Allegiance, Progenies of the Great Apocalypse, probably their biggest single of all time, biggest hit ever, which oddly sounds like a soundtrack to Gotham City, I think. Um, but and then Reddish Bird, some other really good ones on here, dude. Um, I'm not great with the titles, but I love just about every track on this album. It's going to be this one's probably going to be. Can I give another 10 on this
I feel like
discography
since
or
they have enough of a discography, you probably could.
I'm going to throw a 10 at this one for sure.
I gotcha. Um, for me, this was the one that jumped out the most. This is the one I thought was peak for me, for Demure. It has a lot of great songs. It's the exact sound I was hoping for. It's almost like what I would always want Cradle to be, but sometimes would fall short. Um,
Mm,
they had great songs of Progenies of the Great Apocalypse. Another song that stuck out to me was Unorthodox Manifesto. This was a very good album. This is one, if afterwards, when go listen to Demure, I'll probably go to this one. This is the big album for me. But like I said, since most of these albums is the first time coming through, I'm only going to give this a 9.5 because I don't feel like I haven't listened to these albums enough to give them a full 10 out of 10 and stuff. So I'm going to give this as close as I can, probably 9.5.
fair enough. Oh
So
yeah.
it's going to put this at a 19.5. All right.
And I feel like, this band gets labeled as symphonic black metal, but like they take symphonic to a whole new level. Like they hide some they're more like orchestral black metal, like
Mm-hmm.
especially with this album. Like they sounds like they have horns and shit, and it sounds like it's way bigger, way more massive than just
Oh,
a
yeah.
keyboard. But it's crazy that it's just a keyboard doing all that shit, man. It's
Yeah.
nuts.
And this album and the previous album both kind of have that vibe of almost like a soundtrack to like kind of like the very title of this album, like a cult is taking over and this is the end of the world. It's a very grand, big sounding and it's epic as shit. It's
Yeah,
it's fun experience to listen to.
for sure. For sure. Definitely sounds like a fantasy, a post-apocalyptic fantasy kind of satanic shit going on. It's nuts. I love the song that sounds like you just hear the boots marching, and then you just hear the machine guns like pop in. It's like, damn, dude, that's brutal. It's just so awesome. Such a cool environment that this album really made. So epic listen, dude, for sure. Absolutely epic. Up next, Stormblast 2005. And this is just like another creepy era of Dimmu for me, man. Like I remember I heard that song. Um, I think the biggest track from this album, Sorgens Kammer Del 2, which like Sorgens Kammer or Sorgens Kammer, that's a track from the original Stormblast. But again, it's a totally different album. Like it sounds completely different. And particularly that song. Like that song on the first album, I think I want to say just an instrumental. It's like keys or just guitar or something, but very soft. This one's actually like super heavy. That song is. And I remember watching that music video for it, and it's just got a real dreary, spooky like sound to it. Very sorrowful keys, like the do 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 do. I don't know if you know that song, but it's like do 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 do. I don't know. Uh, it's just super sick vibes, dude. And he's like his vocals are like distorted kind of differently in this album than they ever really have been, which I thought was kind of interesting. So, but super gnarly, man. Just a really cool vibe of an album. And I think the album art goes really well with the vibe that this album creates. It's kind of very mystique. You kind of have this like goat head, almost Reaper thing, like shadowed, very eerie looking. very eerie album, I think, for black metal.
Yeah,
What do you think of that one?
this is one I remember growing up when I was buying metal albums all the time. This album was always in some type of advertising. I always thought it was a cool cover, but I was always confused because it's always kind of a smaller picture. So I always thought it was a kind of akin to Rammstein's Rosenrod album. I thought it was a giant ship until I actually saw it in store one day and looked at it. I was like, oh, okay. It's a very cool. I love the album cover. It's very cool. But you pointed out the song that caught my attention. That was Sorgen's Calmer Del 2. That was, I didn't notice it at all in the original one. This one is what makes this whole album feel like a different album to me. That song was great. Um, yeah,
Hmm.
it's still good, but they kind of went back to that melodic black metal, which I'm not too into that much, but I do feel like on Sorgen's Calmer Del 2, it's great. So I would
Hmm.
for this, I'm gonna give this probably a 7.5. Did you give a ranking for this one yet?
I didn't. I'd probably go an eight. Yeah, I'd go an eight on this one, a solid eight. It's a stellar album, man.
Okay. So we got and come on, 15.5. All right. All right. What is next?
Up next is In Sorte Diaboli. '07. I remember I bought this t-shirt with this album art and had the balls to wear it to high school. And then I asked the history teacher, I was like, hey, what do you think this means? He's like, In Sorte Diaboli. Probably Latin, I assume. I was like, I don't know. And he was like, in meaning of the devil. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't know why I did that, but and I really didn't know the translation of it, so I wasn't apt to Google back then. I don't think Google was really that proficient. So, um, but yeah, very. It's just a Baphomet with some titties on the cover, and pretty cool looking. I think they really got intricate on the art. Definitely more advanced there. I love this album, dude. I thought this was another great Dimmu album. Really enjoyed. And this one was the album to feature the one and only Hellhammer on drums.
Okay.
And if you didn't know that, you can listen to the song The Chosen Legacy and hear the takeoff of the ripping double bass part that ends the track. It's absolutely insane. Or it's like later midway in the track. It's the tracks this itself, The Chosen Legacy, is a constant build up to that part. And then that part just takes off and it's just like it's like holy shit, dude. It's nuts. It's the most insane double bass I've probably ever heard. It's up there for sure. But opens out really cool with the Serpentine Offering. I think that song is so badass. Share my sacrifice. Super gnarly. And then you also still have Art or the Arcturus dude. What's his name? Is that his name? Um, no, I think Arcturus is the band that he was in. ICS Vortex or something, the bassist.
Okay.
They've always had weird ass names in this band. This band's also had like crazy lineup changes, like, and way too many to even delve into. But if you want to investigate their lineup changes, Wikipedia has developed a really good chart for it. And Shagrath and like I think the two guitarists are like the most prominent reigning members throughout their discography. But Shagrath has actually went from like guitars to drums to vocals like throughout this whole band's history. So it's pretty interesting. He actually is a pretty multi-talented dude. But anyways, back to this album in Sorte Diaboli. The one thing I didn't like about it is that every song starts with the. I thought that that was just kind of like I don't know, weird. Like you don't really get that a lot, but whatever. I mean, the songs still pretty much rip. They sound pretty commercial though in this phase, kind of getting more um I don't know if that's just, getting better at songwriting or something that comes with that, but another really good song is The Sacrilegious Scorn. I feel like I really like that one a lot. And the Invaluable Darkness that comes later in the album, really good one too. Um, I would probably give this one an 8.8. It's up there for me, dude. I really enjoy this one a lot. So,
I gotcha.
what do you think of this one?
This is the actual. So, the opening song was the first song I ever listened to by them. I remember me, and my little Christian self, because you kind of brought up, like this is more of a commercial album. I don't know if anyone remembers or if people might listening might not have been around this time. This time and a little bit earlier, Dimmu was huge at this time. I want to say we're on Ozfest. Like they were, I want to say even in some movies. I want to say they probably did a song with for Queen of the Damned. Probably they were a big band. So I can see why the kind of commercial aspect trying to come in. But with that, I was me and my Christian self back in the day. I was like, let me check out this band, let's see what they're all about. So I looked at the music video to the Serpentine Offering and turned it off after about a minute because it was just scaring the shit out of me. Because I think that's the one where there's like some Crusaders. They happen upon the band. And I want to say I can't remember if they were also in Crusader outfits, but their crosses were upside down. So he holds a cross to him and he grabs it and it turns on fire and the song starts. Scary as shit for me as my Christian teenage years. But yeah, there's just a fun memory of that. But yeah, it's still pretty good. But I do feel like they're kind of I wouldn't say that not as much as they are later in their career, but they're kind of toning it down to where they are trying to gain more of their trying to capitalize on their success that they were building up. Like they already re-released Storm Blast and took off even more. It's
Hmm.
still a good album. Like Serpentine Offering, Sacrilegious Scorn. I would probably give this one an 8. Uh, but I do see listening to everything now, I do think it's kind of eventually leading to what they eventually do start to do down the road, where it does
Hmm.
kind of back off of the brakes a little bit.
Yeah, for sure.
What you were 8? What?
8.8.
Making this complicated.
I am.
16.8. So that's sitting at number 3 right now. All right. What is up next?
Up next is Abra Hadabra in 2010. And this is where they kind of get a little weird. Um, they kind of introduced a chick kind of singer and I don't know that she's actually in the whole album. I think she's just featured on a song Gateways, but that song Gateways is like the biggest of this whole album. And they definitely got uber commercial on this one, man. I remember watching the video when it dropped for Gateways, and I was just like, what are these guys doing? I don't know. He got like really dress up even more with the corpse paint. They kind of donned some like furs and stuff and looked really kind of extravagant black metalish, if you will. Really kind of weird. Anyways, um, but with that being said, I find that song to be so damn catchy. And I'll still go back to this album for that song Gateways. I think it ends super epically. It's kind of like a big epic buildup. But you kind of have like some weird flute action and like mixed in, blended into the tune. So it's a weird ride for Dimmu. And but Shagrath, his vocals, they've always kind of had that cheese vibe to him. He kind of goes uber cheesy on this one and leans a bit more into the George Peter Turner, like that, like sort of weird kind of spoken dark, or spoken word like stuff that he does, the deep vocal. So I don't know. Parts are a little on the corny side, but still, I think it's entertaining. Um, Opens up pretty good. Zebra, Born Treacherous, Gateways, Chess with the Abyss is one of my favorite tracks. For the longest time, I thought that this track featured What's the dude's name from Judas Priest? Rob
Oh, Rob
Halford.
Halford.
Yeah, that's why he seriously sounds like he's in Chess with the Abyss because there's like a vocal line where some dude sings like super like power metally, and I think it's really badass actually. But I was just like, man, please let this be a feature of Rob Halford. That'd be so tight, but I don't think it is. But still a really solid track, man. And then they have a song Dimmu Borgir, which I thought that was interesting.
Yeah,
But I think the album kind of falls off on the later half of this album for me. So, but not terrible. I just didn't know that it's really great in my opinion. Um, but yeah, so I don't know. I'd probably give this one a 7.5.
I gotcha. Yeah, this is this is the first album I actually. So the previous album I only listened to one song. Then a couple years later, I want to say, so I was really big into Pirate Bay and getting trying to spot leaks, and I want to say this album leaked, and I got a little bit, so I was super excited. I was like, oh yeah, Dimmu Borgir. Didn't really know anything about them besides they're big black metal. They had that one evil song that scared me a few years ago, but I was really hooked by the riff from Born Treacherous. It's a badass riff, not very well. It is black metal because it has that ends in that very dissonant, but almost like rockin' kind of riff. It's so cool when they bring it back in the middle part. Then also they end with it, very catchy. I feel like everything in between that song is just meh. And I kind
Mm-hmm.
of feel like that's how this whole album kind of is. Gateways, I know that was a big song, but I couldn't get into it. Just the Abyss was not bad. Dimmu Borgir, though, to be this far into your career and just now come out with like a uh, track off of your name, but it's just a song. It's not like a big song. It's just here's a song with our name. I don't.
Yeah.
That felt weird. Um, I remember a lot of people like I would talk about like yeah, new Dimmu Borgir. Like man, they didn't want to talk about it. It felt like feels like with this album, the success train that was going on through the 2000s, that the wheels are starting to fall off with this one. Um, I'm gonna give this one a probably a 7.2. I'll do the weird numbers too. 7.2. What was yours again?
Uh, I think uh, I think 7.5.
Okay. So that'd be a 14.7. Oh, we already have a
Mm-hmm.
14.7. That makes it easy.
Oh, okay.
All right.
All right. And then, um, last but not least, we have I want to say, yeah, you only got one more, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Eonian with 2018. And so this was a huge gap, man. Like, and I remember there was a lot of hype. Like, it got to be like 2014 around that era, and everyone's just like, okay, what's Dimmu doing? And I think that they were saying that they were writing then, but like still it was like years to come, dude. 8 years later. So long ass wait, dude. Tons of hype around it because people didn't really know what was going on. I think members had fallen off in that time. Um, Vortex had already dropped off the band. I forgot to mention that, which he was a pretty big part. You know, his vocals were, he was the dude that kind of did the operatic kind of style singing. The last album of his was In Sorte Diaboli. So after that album, he left the band. And I think he was a huge member of Demu, in my opinion. Um, I know his style's kind of weird, but it's really unique, and I kind of thought that it really fit. So I didn't like that he kind of dropped off. Um, but again, like with this one, it's just like it was suspected that more members quit. I think they did. I think they were down to like three when this album dropped, which was Galder, the other guitarist, Silenaz, and then Shagrath. So, and I think Shagrath wrote most of the stuff around it. I know he took over keys for this album, vocals, and I think he might have even done drums. But I don't know, man. This was, in my opinion, just kind of a big letdown. I had a lot of hype for this one, dude. and I was really wanting those mean riffs that, we heard back in Death Cult Armageddon, like, and it just wasn't happening. It was a lot of orchestral builds and almost like they kind of delved into the melodic, almost power metal side, like Sabaton style metal, but black metal still. It's weird. It like, and I say that because the song Interdimensional Summit, it's kind of got that like upbeat, like da 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 da. And so, I was listening to this album the other day. I was like, what the fuck is this? Like, this isn't even like black metal anymore. Like, what are these dudes even doing? So, I don't know, man. It was a letdown for me. I know some people probably out there, they probably like this album, but I don't know. There's some cool stuff on it. It's just not the highlight of their discography for me. So, I think I'd probably give this one a 7.
I gotcha. Um, yeah, I don't really have too much to add because when I don't think I listened to it all the way through because what I was noticing with Abrahadabra, whereas like, all right, it feels like they're pulling back a little bit more. These wheels are kind of falling off. Uh, I could already tell it was deteriorating more in this album. It didn't feel like the foot to the pedal to the metal that was going on with like Death Cult Armageddon, the Euphoric album. That seems to be gone. Seems to be they're becoming more comfortable just resting on their laurels, not really going full force, kind of just relaxing. Kind of like what I was talking about earlier this year with the Rotting Christ album. Feels like they're just kind of taking it easy, playing it safe, not doing the things that we enjoyed about it. So I'm probably going
Yeah,
to give this a flat 7.
I'm gonna give it a 6. I'm changing mine.
Okay, so we got a
Um,
13.
yeah, it just fell really short for me, man. And most importantly, the biggest flaw for me is it lost that aggressiveness. Like
Mm-hmm.
I really missed the riffage, dude. Like when you hear Death Cult Armageddon, Puritanical Euphoric Misanthropia, like those albums are just keyed around the fucking like the chugs, the riffage, the heavy shit, and that's what I missed and loved. And so, whereas like this one seems like it's just more based around like I said, the uh, or, orchestra style stuff. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I gotcha. So yeah, is there anything you wanted to change or you wanted to rearrange anything, or you like where we have everything?
I think I like that, man. I'm pretty happy with that list. Those top albums are pretty foundational for me. So,
I
especially with
got you.
this band,
So for any of you who are just listening, not watching, we got Death Cult Armageddon at number one with 19.5. Then Euphoric Misanthropic. What's
Puritanical Euphoric Misanthropia.
Yep, that one at number two with 18.5, and Sorte Diaboli at number three with 16.8. Storm Blast 2005 15.5. We got Ty with 14.7 with For All Tid and Abra Hadabra. Uh, with 13, we have Aeonian. Uh, another tie at 12 with 12.5. We have uh, Spiritual Black
Spiritual,
Dimensions.
like, yeah,
Um, and also Enthroned Triumphant
Darkness
Darkness.
Triumphant.
Yeah. And
Dark,
then
yes,
and then lastly at the bottom at with only 11 we have the original Stormblast.
yeah. Pretty happy
Yeah.
with it, dude. Solid
Yep.
discography. Cool band to delve into if you're looking for some wintertime spooky vibes,
Mm-hmm.
symphonic black metal.
Yeah. And I would say, like I said earlier, when Cradle of Filth isn't uh curing that scratching that itch, I would say Dimmu will get that for me. They
For
are
sure.
what I always hoped Cradle would be. It feels like Demure is more of that what I want them to be. So I
Yeah.
would probably always go back to these probably top four albums. Maybe this
I
because I love
always,
that riff, but
yeah. I always wanted those two bands to tour. Like, would that not have been a perfect opportunity? Like,
Have they not?
I I don't think so. I kind of feel like they were almost too competitive, like of fan
I can
bases
see
to
that.
so. But I mean, hell, I thought that that tour would slay in the U.S. You know, I could see avoiding that overseas because they probably tour those areas more frequently.
Hmm.
But I think, dude, you tour those two bands in the U.S., you could even do like an anniversary tour today of, I mean, I guess it's a little late for the top two albums there, but they could probably still pull it out for funsies, you know, do a
Yeah.
reunion tour of Death Cult Armageddon and then Cradle do a reunion tour of Nymphetamine. Holy shit. Across the US, dude, that would sell out guaranteed. That'd be super cool. I'd definitely go. But
Yeah, that was Dimmu Borgir. That was a fun one. Like I said, I wasn't super familiar with them, but it was good to listen to a lot of new music. So that
yeah,
was good.
that's cool, man. Hell yeah.
What do
Well,
we do
what's up
next?
next? Yeah. Is it your choice? I think I picked the last one.
Sure. I'll throw some names out there. One of them
Okay.
is going to spice things up a little bit because it's something I don't think we've. And these are two names we have talked about, and one we haven't ever talked about. Um, First up, obviously, Mayhem.
Mm.
Um, I feel like we bring them up every time, but we always pick the other. Then also, Every Time I Die.
Ooh.
And then lastly, Flesh God Apocalypse.
Oh, those are really good ones. All really good contenders. I think I want to do all of those eventually, but I think I'm going to switch it up. I think, you know, we kind of did the black metal. Let's go somewhere else. Let's do total opposite and let's do Every Time I Die.
Oh, hell yeah. This
I'm
has
definitely
me
down, man.
excited.
Yeah, I'm totally down for that. Fun
All
band
right.
for sure. So,
Yeah. We'll see if we can get to that or if we're going to do the '06 first, whichever we get ready for first. So,
yeah, no doubt.
uh, I know they have kind of a longer discography. So if there's some things you're not familiar with, just we can take a little bit longer to get to that one. We can do the '06, or if we're able to get to Every Time I Die, then do '06, whichever it's more you're more comfortable with.
Sure, man. Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll probably decide last minute on the next episode.
We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all I got. You have anything to add?
I don't think so, dude. It's turkey season's upon us. Get your butter balls. They're probably selling like hotcakes, flying off the shelves. Don't forget to thaw your turkey 3 to 4 days before cooking. You know, make sure you got that bitch planned because those things take forever. I'm a cooker turkey. Are you gonna cook a turkey?
I don't know if I will. I might, but the only thing is though, I've heard this and I love the idea, but every time I bring it up, people get mad. What do you think of the idea of replacing the turkey with another Christmas ham? Because I feel like ham is so much better than turkey.
Oh, I don't know, dude. I don't know about that. I I honestly love to have both available because I'm a meat guy. Like if the meat's sitting there on the table and you know I've already like have my plate and I'm already stuffed and like I kind of snooze, take a nap or whatever, I get up whenever I'm awake from that, you know, I'm after that phase. And if that's still on the table, I'm going to get some more and I'm just snacking on it. And I'll dip back and forth, ham, turkey, I don't care. But I think if I was in a pinch, as long as the turkey's not dry and it's cooked good, I'm gonna probably go turkey. But if they fucked up the turkey and it's on the dry side, I'll probably go ham.
I gotcha. I don't know because I've cooked both, and I get super excited when I get to cook a ham because I love
Mm.
making the ham. I love the time it takes glazing it, getting all the stuff on it, getting all right. Turkey, I'm bored and I don't care. So I think it's more of
Oh
that.
man.
I love the results that come out of the ham. Turkey is like, yeah, it's turkey. I want the
Oh man,
ham.
see, I'm different. I feel like you can play with turkey so much more because it's so bland. Like ham, you're already messing with salt. So you can't really salt it. You can't really play with that element to it. Turkey, man, it's like you have a clean palate of nothing. So you can sweeten it up. You can kind of I like to play with honey on the skin and get that nice and crispy gold looking. And then like I'll take the juices and I'll squirt them up inside like mid cook and get underneath the skin. I'll throw some honey under there, stuff some butter under that skin, dude. Oh man, I get into it. I love it.
I don't know why I immediately went to a sexual nature when you were talking about putting honey on it. Then you just kept on going with all these other. Put some honey on that bitch. Get it ready.
Hell yeah, man. Slap the shit out of it.
I don't know with ham though.
Uh,
I love like making the glaze like the certain type and to where it gets soaked into it. And then also when you cut it up, you just let it soak over a little more, put it back in the oven, but get glaze a little bit more juicy.
mm,
I
yeah,
love
I
ham.
mean, ham's good too. Don't get me wrong, but I just think like as far as customizations of flavors, man, you could really go to Flavor Town on a turkey.
I got
But a
you.
ham, I just don't know that you can change it that much. I will say that one of the best hams that I've had is a crazy recipe that Lex's mom does. And she'll literally, I don't know if she takes like a 2 liter of Coke or like just a soda, but literally cooks a ham in a crock pot of Coke, of Coca-Cola. And it's weird, dude, but it's so good. And it's so tender. Oh my God, it's delicious.
I'm gonna have to try that next time because I do like a brown sugar,
I think it's like a
mustard,
cherry
and
Coke
pineapple
too.
juice.
Oh, that sounds pretty good.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
making it.
Yeah. That sounds pretty bomb.
Yeah. Um, yeah, hopefully deer season's still going on. Hopefully we can finish out all our tags.
For
Uh
sure. For sure.
now that I've watched more videos and have been more prepared for butchering, hopefully I can get more meat off mine if I get another one.
Yeah. Oh, I had a disclaimer to make. Last episode I said I called it a gantry hook. It's a gambrel. A
Okay.
gambrel system is what you're wanting, I think, not a gantry. I think they might be the same, or I think a gantry might be something similar, but I don't know. I think gambrel is the technical term. I had another few disclaimers, but I forgot them. So last episode I was wrong on some things. Yeah, don't ever quote me. But
Speaking of that, there was a correction I need to make, and this is why I didn't tag the band in the post. Last week I said the new Salt Wound album. That's the band that the old deathcore band. Apparently, Salt Wound is not the same as Salt the Wound. Apparently, they are two different bands. One
we
is
were to so we were both on that disclaimer then. We are totally getting that wrong. Okay.
yes. Apparently, I mean, why wouldn't I think they play old style deathcore? But apparently, it's a new band that just plays old style deathcore.
Yeah. Huh. Interesting. Are any members like from Salt the Wound?
Nope, different, totally new band.
Oh, they're just like, hey, I got a really good band name. They're like, ugh, all right, what is it? Salt Wound. They're like, dude, you were in Salt the Wound.
Yeah, but we're dropping the
Yeah, it's gonna be totally different.
dropping the what? Dropping the
Yeah.
yeah.
That's funny.
That's the only. As soon as I the day after we recorded, I realized it's like, oh, too late now. I can't go back and just re-record myself
Yeah.
correctly saying the right thing. So yeah,
Yeah. I saw Emasculator liked our post, so hopefully they're listening. That'd be
yeah.
really cool.
Hopefully, getting to be a big deal now. Getting to
People said they were close to me. That just always plays in my mind. Somebody said they were close to me. That's funny. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Until next time, you can check us out on TikTok, Facebook, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, YouTube. Whenever I stop being lazy and upload more episodes on that, yeah, check us out. Or you
Word,
can
word.
even email us on deathmetalldaddies@gmail.com. Let us know what you're listening to. Tell us what we're wrong about. Tell us we suck. Or tell us how much you like and want more music recommendations. Let us know.
Dudes, do it.
But until then, Stay death metal daddy.
Stay daddy? I like to play with honey on the skin and get that nice and crispy gold looking. And then like I'll take the juices and I'll squirt them up inside like mid cook and